Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. I am Investor Bowens with the details. Natural events caused by climate change will continue to affect SVG and other member states of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, and as such, it is important for disaster relief organizations to continue to test their mechanism and build capacity to deal with these effects. So says Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, Michelle Forbes, as she addressed the closing ceremony of a training workshop hosted by the CARICOM Disaster Relief Unit, the CDRU, at the Methodist Church Hall. At the closing ceremony, several law enforcement officers and first responders from across the region received certificates of participation and are expected to provide necessary support to member states in the event of a natural disaster. Forbes said climate-related events continue to affect CARICOM states and believes that the training exercise will boost the capacity of the CDRU and CDMA to carry out their roles more effectively.
Of one of the units that encompass the regional response mechanism that is coordinated by CDMA and the RSS. And this system has been tried and tested, and I dare say stretched, following the aftermaths of Irma and Maria in 2017. And I know some of you who would have been impacted, and some of our officers from around the region would have been on your ground supporting your countries. Testing our system and increasing the capacity in our system means that we have to continue this type of training that we had here over the last 9 days. We have also been reviewing our protocols at the regional level to ensure our state of operational readiness. And you now are critical in supporting this system for anything that may affect us.
Also giving remarks at the closing ceremony was Deputy Executive Director of CDMA, Elizabeth Riley, who said personal readiness of each law enforcement officer and first responder is also of key importance in responding to a disaster.
Also the mental preparedness as well as your emotional preparedness. So when you return home, spend some time preparing. Remember that not all hazards will give us the luxury of a warning period. And this means that we have to be ready to go at very short notice. So prepare yourselves, and I also say prepare your families. In 2017, we had some members of the CARICOM Disaster Relief Unit who were deployed after the impact of Irma, and then their own state was impacted by Maria. So they left home with the intent to support others, and their own countries and themselves, they got impacted. So I want to really impress the point about preparedness. It's not just about yourselves, but it's also about your families. Because if you have to be deployed, the one thing that you want to be comfortable about is that your family is safe, they're taken care of. If anything happens, you do not want to be worried about them. And I think that goes for all of us.
Commissioner of Police Colin John said no one can predict when a disaster will strike and as such must be prepared at all times. Commissioner John said law enforcement officers are charged with the responsibility of maintaining law and order before, during and after a natural disaster, and highlighted some areas where officers of the RSVG police force have received practical training to deal with such situation if and when it occurs.
Nature being what it is more when than if. We are called upon to perform the duties as shelter control managers or other security duties. This training prepared us for the aspect of security. As police officers, we would be required to secure the various campsites or the various centers which persons are being housed. We would be called upon to provide security for prisoners. As Commissioner, it would literally cause me sleepless nights if some of those notorious criminals that are behind bars are to be let loose during a natural disaster. So we have to be prepared.
As carnival activities get into full swing here, the Public Health Department is playing its role to ensure that food safety practices are maintained throughout the season. On Monday, the Public Health Department hosted a food handlers workshop at the Fisheries Conference room, targeting food vendors who are educated on food preparation, best practices, and the dangers of not following these practices. Public Health Inspector and Facilitator Rhodesia Grant said the workshop is conducted twice a year, targeting food vendors who prepare food for sale during the festive seasons, including Carnival.
It's important because vendors need to know that their livelihood is dependent on the consumer, and at the same time they do not want consumers to get sick. So with this food handlers training, they have all the information that is required for them to conduct their work in the restaurant, out of the restaurant, on the street, in their daily activities. Whatever is done, what all the measures have been done is to make sure it's geared toward food safety. For the carnival season, we highlight for those vendors using ice, a separation for ice, one container for ice that is served cooling the drinks, one to serve the ice, and the other one for those vendors who are cooking food, you have a separate container to store your salads, because you don't want the same container that you serve the ice with for drinking, you serve it for cooling and to store your salads. So we have separate, we're highlighting those issues that we're having a problem with the vendors, so the vendors would know these are things that they shouldn't do when it comes to food preparation.
Grant said it is important for vendors to be mindful of foodborne diseases which can be spread before and during food preparation. Both the Public Health Inspector and the Chief Environment Health Officer, Neri James, shared some advice which can help to keep food safe.
Here, there are different types of hair nets that constitute for different types of hair. Some people have kinky hair, weave hair, polish hair, my hair, your hair. But not every mesh would hold your type of hair. So make sure that you have the correct mesh for your type of hair. One that could hold all your hair in. All of your hair. None is left out. For those who carry beards, long beards are styled, you have a beard net as well. If you have clean water collected from the pipe, and you put the clean water in a dirty bucket or a dirty container to freeze, what is going to happen? The water becomes contaminated. The water automatically becomes no good. So you don't want to have a clean container and collect water from the river, rain, to put in a clean bucket or clean container to freeze. Does it make sense? Right. So you put clean water in clean buckets, not clean water in dirty buckets or dirty water in clean buckets.
To prepare your stuff at home first, okay? Now, so in some case you need to pre-cook. So that means you have to cook a portion that you know will be sold out quick, and you have to be able to transport it and store it well. Okay? Now, we do not expect you to have meat that will last an entire day. You pre-cook your meat and you give 2 or 3 hours between the time you bring it and it is being sold.
2 of the participants at the workshop said they are grateful for the opportunity to learn more about food safety practices and general requirement standards.
You know, some people see a piece of hair in something and they think it's no problem, or they would have on their jewelry or their makeup. You know, some people would say, it's no problem, I have to look good to prepare. But I think we have learned a lot here today, so that she reinforced in it what I have learned. It gives me more power to drive at it. You're not supposed to wear these things while preparing food. So that really stands out. Yes, you want to look good when you are preparing, when you are serving, but what about the customers?
speaker told us about food handling is very impressive, and certain things that you do not know you will learn, so it enhances your business much better.
Anything from his short speech that you heard really stick with you?
Everything sticks with me. Everything, because every day you learn, and everything is had to put into practice in order to make your business successful.
The Chief Environment Health Officer also gave some advice to consumers, noting that they should carefully observe the environment in which drinks and food vendors operate.
Force inspector, okay? And then you look around and make sure the site where the persons are actually cooking, baking, roasting, it is clean, okay? 1 point. 2 point, you make sure that look and see how the person is washing his or her hand, because after a minute, 2, 3, or 4 or 5, they must wash their hand. And ask yourself, if that person need to relieve themselves, where will that person go? Okay? Those are some key things I want you to have in your mind.
The Sion Hill Clinic and its environs is receiving a facelift as part of the Tradewinds humanitarian exercise in SVG. The clinic was chosen based on its close proximity to the decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport, which is the base for the Tradewinds exercise here, and also because the facility needed the facelift. Commanding Officer of the Royal Bermuda Regiment, Colonel David Curley, said major works are expected to be done on the facility and its environs, which should be completed by Friday, the last day of the second phase of the Tradewinds exercise in SVG.
Get my troops and logistics and all the kit and equipment up here very rapidly so that we can just make the project go nice and smooth. Whenever we go to a community project, we do a very quick assessment, a security assessment. So not only for cosmetic, what the minister had said was basically we look at to make sure that we can develop a very safe and secure environment for people that work here. So you'll notice around here that the trees have been cut back. We'll put some more fencing back up, and we're also putting security lights in place as well, and making sure that the locks are reinforced, so it'll become a very secure place. So it's our intentions to leave it in such great order that it'll be round and utilized all the time. So again, it's a privilege to do this. We always pick a community project wherever we go, and I only have 8 individuals working here now, but come tomorrow, the next day, maybe 30 or 40, because my main effort is to get this task done, because we're back on an aircraft on Saturday at 0400.
Minister of Health Luke Brown was on site today and expressed gratitude for the assistance being provided under the Tradewinds exercise.
Extraordinary act of generosity for us to have at our disposal up to 30, 40, 50 persons contributing to the improvement of a facility that is accessed and used by thousands upon thousands of Vincentians. As simple as you see this facility here, it serves a wide spectrum of persons from the Dorchester Hill communities, Sion Hill itself proper, Frenches, Rockies, Murray's Village even, and some other surrounding areas including Anna's Vale. There's several communities served by it, several thousand people served by it, and because we're now going to have a more comfortable experience for them and a more comfortable experience for the staff, we would have better health care delivered right at this facility.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph said the Tradewinds exercise has been of great benefit in various areas, including its humanitarian work.
For Tradewinds is that we participate in a community project, and in our discussion, when we were having our internal discussion, we came up with Sion Hill Clinic as that project. One of the good things about Tradewinds also is the relationship that you forged and cemented when we met. So all in all, St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been benefiting and would benefit a great deal from Tradewinds, not only in the actual training, but as you see in this lovely community project. So we welcome our brothers and sisters from our partner nation. This Tradewinds is really sponsored by US Southcom.
Though operations at the clinic ended at midday today, services at the facility will resume fully tomorrow. The National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority is continuing to encourage Vincentians to adhere to the total ban on the hunting and consumption of sea turtles. This reminder comes as the authority, through the National Environmental Day Commemoration Committee, joined the rest of the world to celebrate World Sea Turtle Day 2019. World Sea Turtle Day is celebrated annually to foster awareness of the importance of sea turtles, bringing attention to the threatening conditions that continue to impact sea turtles, and promoting action for the protection and conservation of these marine species. A release from National Parks says these species play a crucial role in the ocean and land ecosystems and encourage Vincentians to play a role to help these species thrive. Persons are therefore asked not to disrupt a nesting sea turtle, not to touch hatchlings on their way to the ocean, or to use lighting on the beach at night, including flashlights, lanterns, flash photography, and cell phones. They are also reminded not to touch empty eggshells or exposed unhatched eggs, not to use shovels to dig on the beach during nesting season, and keep the sea and beaches clean. Students, teachers, and parents across the country continue to celebrate the results of the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, the CPEA, which were released yesterday. In the Grenadines, the Beckway Anglican Primary School secured one of the top 10 places with its student Shimoya Samuel, placing 5th for girls and 9th overall. Samuel also gained the highest score in mathematics with 96%. This is not the first time that the Beckway Anglican Primary has topped the CPEA in mathematics. Speaking to SVG-TV News via the telephone, an excited Shimoya said she was confident of placing in the top 10 and was eagerly awaiting the results.
So when I heard that I came in the top 10, I was so excited. I was so happy. I really wanted to come in the top 10, so yes, I was expecting it. So I celebrated. My mom took me out for ice cream, my friend, and I had a good time. When I get old, I want to become a doctor.
Shimoya's mother, Patrina Samuel, said her daughter has been a grade A student and that she did not expect less at CPEA.
Only child. Well, I was expecting her to place in the first top 10 year because she's a very brilliant girl from since kindergarten up to grade 6. She always comes top in her class. So I was expecting her to be on top. It wasn't a surprise to me. Yeah, she will be traveling from Beckway every day to St. Vincent and back.
Principal of the Beckway Anglican School, Gillian Graham, said 49 students wrote the CPEA and they received a pass rate of 87.76%, which is an improvement from last year. Graham said the grade 6 teachers worked tirelessly with the students and it has paid off.
And I must say Shimoya has been consistent throughout the years. From kindergarten right through, Shimoya has never fall below 90%. In fact, the math teacher expected Shimoya to gain 100% because she's this quiet, focused child and very hardworking and a diligent child. So we are all elated that, and the school has done well. Over the years, the last 3 years, we have gained the first place in math. In fact, in 2017, we had our students placing for the external 100% for across the board, science, the language, and the math. And then last year we got top for math, and then this year again. So we are happy. Our teachers are working. We have a system in place where the students would come very early in the morning and they would put in an extra hour. This was preparing them also for secondary school.
Another student who placed in the top 10 is Gianna Eswick of the Barley Government School. Eswick wrote the exam with a batch of more than 30 students from her school, which received over 80% pass rate. The Kingston Preparatory School, which got a 100% pass rate, got 5 students in the top 10, with 4 of them being boys. Lazaro Lynch placed 3rd, while the 3 other boys placed in 6th, 7th, and 8th position. Though noting that they could have done better, the boys said they are satisfied with their overall results.
My name is Adriel Hazel and I'm very overwhelmed about my results.
Were you expecting that?
Yes, but I knew there was a lot of competition to beat, but I'm still overwhelmed. Nervous and excited at the same time. I wanted to know what I came, but I was just too scared at the same time.
My name is Christian Joseph. I am very overwhelmed. I know that I've worked hard throughout my KPS career, and what I wanted most was prep school to come first. I like mathematics and I like challenging Adriel here. We try our best to compete and see who's better at maths.
My name is Taj Kane and I can't say I'm too satisfied, but I am satisfied that I am at least going to grammar school. My results were good, but I thought I would have done better. Well, I'm happy that I got to go to grammar school and that I can be a intelligent and hardworking student.